Today on our live session, our live Q&A session, I'm Ify, your go-to immigration attorney. Sorry, Facebook guys. I have my laptop with me for our folks on YouTube. Come on in, come on in. Today we're talking about something very important, which is your required documents for your green card application. If you're applying for a green card through your family, you need to know the required documents, right? Without the right documents, you risk getting denied, spending a lot of money, possibly getting deported, okay? So this is why you need to know this. So come on in, be ready with your questions. Again, I'm Ify. If you just see me for the first time, make sure you follow me and share this live because we go live every week, at least 2 times a week, to talk about immigration issues, to answer your questions. And if you're in our Facebook group, you get a one-on-one session with me every Friday. So come on in, come on in. Let's talk immigration, right? I'm your go-to specialist for everything family-based immigration. So if you're currently in the USA or if you're outside the USA, we help clients all over the world, basically, and you're interested in living in the US with your family, you are interested in filing a family-based green card or any other benefits you may qualify for through your family, you're in the right place. Right? I'm gonna get a sip of water because I've been talking all morning. I had a consultation. Today here in Charlotte is rainy, and we still made it through. I hope y'all on Facebook can hear me because I have my mic on. Sometimes it glitches. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you can hear me. And on YouTube, I'm pretty sure y'all can hear me. I see the sound thing on here, but let me know in the comments if you can't hear me, okay? I'm going to pull up my notes in a little bit. I'm waiting for some of y'all to join. I know it's pretty early. For some of you, maybe you're at work and you may be watching this after we've aired, but just keep in mind that we're going to be coming on every week. So if you missed this one, you have an opportunity to watch me live again and ask me your questions. I'm also an immigrant myself from Nigeria, so whenever I'm dealing with clients or talking about these things, there's a lot of passion there because I understand the need to have a green card in the USA. If you want to make a life for yourself in the USA, you want to be able to work and travel freely and things like that, you definitely need a green card. So I understand that need. It took me about 7 years when I first came to the US before I was able to travel outside again. It wasn't as hard because I was a teenager, but for most of my clients I work with, they're in their 20s, 30s, even 60s. I just had a consult today. My client, I was so surprised. She was like, I'm 60. I was like, girl, you don't look 60. But it's just like that. If you're an adult with children, like my mom was, and you're in the US without a green card, that's definitely a difficult thing to go through. So come on in, ask me questions about how you can get your permanent residency in the USA so that you can start working, so you can have the freedom to travel out and come back in, have the freedom to file for your children. A lot of people are here without their children because they came over, for different reasons, maybe school, and then now they're stuck here. Right? And because when I say stuck here, means you've lived here for several years and there's just really nothing for you to go back home to. And now your only option is to get a green card. So if you're in that type of scenario, that type of situation, I can most likely help you through a family-based petition, sometimes a self-petition if you qualify. We can talk about that in more topics. If you have questions and want to know how to self-petition, just let me know, okay? All right, so today our topic is on green card required documents so you can avoid a denial. Let me show you all what a denial letter looks like. Here's a typical denial that you could get from USCIS. It's just a 2-3 page document. So it doesn't look like a lot, but is essentially says decision. It doesn't say denial because your decision could be approved or denied, right? This decision right here was not approved. And this client came to me after she has tried twice and gotten denied twice. And then she came to me today to discuss her options to stop getting denied, basically. And that's what we do here. We help with emergency situations. And also, before you get to this point, we would love for you to come to us so we don't have to be putting out fires. Because when you've had multiple denials with the USCIS, you know, even if your marriage is legit and you have all your documents, just the main fact that you had 2 denials on file is going to raise a red flag and already make your case complicated right off the bat. I want to prevent that. How do you prevent that? Number one, you book a consultation with me. Talk to an immigration attorney before you start your immigration case. A lot of people think that this process is all about filling out forms, and that's the first mistake. When you think that immigration is all about filling out forms, you're going to end up either submitting irrelevant documents that's going to cause problems for you, or not enough documents that doesn't really tell the story that the immigration needs to see. Okay? Hi guys on Facebook, Ngozi, Diana. Give me a thumbs up if you all can hear me, because I'm using my mic today. I want to make sure it's not glitching out on y'all. Sometimes it does that. Thank you all for joining. Okay, 111, okay, period. Give me a thumbs up if you see 111 right now, because this means this is something good. 111 means we're all in alignment and everything's going to work together for your good. That's cool. Whoop. My laptop almost fell. Let's see, make sure that's sturdy. But yes, green cards through family. One of the, dare I say, easiest ways to get a green card. I say that loosely just because, you know, it may seem easy, but there are definitely some things you need to have. However, it's easier than employment-based because you don't need to have, I mean, you can be, we'll start with employment-based, you need to have an employer. But with family-based, you don't need to show an employer, right? You just need the relationship. So that's why it's easier. It's just all about the relationship, right? So, but it's just one of the most common ways to get a green card. And that's what we help clients with over here. My link, my contact information is going to be in the comments. So let me know if you want to talk outside of here, if you want to ask your questions to get a one-on-one guidance, you can click on that, okay? All right. I lost my pencil here. Great. So let's talk about some documents, shall we? All right. And Diamond, please send that again because I can't see the code. Patricia, help me with that. That's what I was trying to type on here, but I can't. Okay, so we can sort that out once that's up. All right, thank you. Okay. All right. Documents, documentos. In case you all didn't know, I'm Espanol, or at least I support Espanol clients. I only know un poquito Espanol, but if you come to me with an issue, your immigration question, I can definitely help you. So if you are I should probably be saying this in Espanol, right? But if you are watching me right now and you need help or you know someone who needs help, we also provide bilingual services. So that's something that we're adding this year, 2024. We've already had like 3 Spanish consultations this year. That's amazing. So that's definitely something that we offer now. If you enter without a visa and you're related to a U.S. citizen, whether it's your child, your husband, your usually spouse and children are the easier ones. With parent, there's no. That's usually much more difficult to waive. To waive that inadmissibility because you entered without a visa. Okay. But yes, un poquito español. Llame o me llamo abogada inmigración, right? Llámame por ayuda documentos. Okay? Call me to get help with your documents so you can get your legal status in the US. I'm going to work on that and we're going to do more Espanol lives. Okay? Amanda Marie, thank you for joining. On YouTube, I don't see y'all's questions yet, but if you're watching this after it's aired live, just know that we're coming live every Tuesday and Thursday, and we're going to be answering your questions. So make sure to join in. All right. Subscribe if you haven't already. We share tips on social media. So if you don't join our lives, you're going to still benefit from a lot of our tips that we share. So make sure you follow me for that and ask your questions in the comments. Okay. All right. So real quick, required documents. There are 3 main required documents whenever you want to get your green card. And I'm going to talk about those 3 right now. And then if you have questions about specifics, especially when it comes to the bona fide relationship part, that one is really case by case specific. You can reach out to me for that. But the 3 main documents anyone that is applying for a green card needs is number 1, proof of relationship. Let me rephrase that. Anyone applying for a green card through family, through relationship, because whether it's your mom or your dad, it's still a relationship. Whether it's your brother or your sister, your child is a relationship. So anyone applying for a green card through a relationship, the first important document you need is evidence of the relationship, proof that the relationship is real. Okay, that's the first most important document you need if you're filing a green card through family. All right. The second most important document that's needed, in fact, without this document, you could get denied right away. Like there's literally writing that says that you could get denied without even an RFE, especially for this number 2 document. It's very important because it goes towards, there's so many other political drama behind this particular requirement. But if you are applying for a green card through family, make sure that you know about this from a U.S. citizen relative. Make sure you ask them. I work with couples all the time, and sometimes they come in here and I'm like, how much does your spouse earn? And they don't know. They don't know what their spouse does. They don't know how much their spouse earns, and that's not good enough. Okay, because number 2 requirement is heavily dependent on how much your spouse earns. How much does the household earn? Is the amount that you earn enough to take care of everyone in the household? That's the most important question. And number 2 document is proof of income. All right. I hope you're taking notes, guys. If you're not taking notes, make sure you save this video or share it with your friends so that you can watch it later on when you're about to apply for your green card through family, through marriage. Okay. 90% of our cases are through marriage, but it could be any other relationship, like I said. And if you have some complications like denials, I just told you all about a lady that came to me with a denial. This is a second denial. I'm like, girl, why did you call a lawyer? And she did, but there were just certain complications that weren't brought to light initially. Okay. So now that we're here, we're going to have to navigate those complications, and that's what we do best, navigating the complications that prevent people from getting their green card. Some people are able to just apply for their forms. If you're in my Facebook group, you see that all the time. People are like, I applied, no lawyer, I got approved, and that's great because, if it's a straightforward case, you most likely may not need a lawyer. But a lot of people have complications that they don't know about. Number one, they don't know how much their spouse earns. That's already a complication, because if you don't have enough income, or if you're not able to calculate that properly, you're going to get denied. Okay? So that's not something that is a form specific issue. This is a law specific issue or requirement that you just cannot avoid. You have to make sure you put in the right amounts, you're earning the right amount, and your spouse earning the right amount, and the household side matches and all of that. Okay? Tanisha Brown, thank you very much for your question on Facebook. Tanisha says, if you have been denied your marriage-based green card, can you remarry? That's a great question, and I'll address that after I talk about the final requirement. I just kind of want to get this out there so we can go into the questions. Excuse me. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Can you remarry after your green card has been denied? Your marriage-based green card got denied. The question is, can I get married, I'm guessing, to somebody else and potentially refile? Correct, Denisha? That's a good question, and I get that quite a bit because this green card process does take a while. It takes about 2 years. At least that's what's been taken in the past. Now that they're about to increase like USCIS fees, maybe they'll have better processing times, because that's the whole claim. They want to increase the fees so that they could process things faster. There's inflation all around the world, and they need to hire more people and things of that nature so that it could be quicker. So let's hope that it doesn't take as much, as long as 2 years. But this stuff takes a while, and a lot of the times relationships just don't last the test of time. In fact, in the last couple of weeks here, I've had a situation. I'm trying to think of the second person. I've had two people come to my office for consults based on the fact that the U.S. citizen spouse is just backing out because they just feel like it's too much, right? And why is this happening? That's because people aren't having conversations before they even get married. Like, you need to talk to your spouse. Like, are they working type of job? Because they don't realize the level of paperwork required, the level of information that a U.S. citizen needs to provide, because this is not just about the non-citizen. It's about your relationship with the citizen. So they're going to ask questions about, like, the citizen, like how you're the one that the citizen is petitioning, like, so how do you qualify for this? Like, how is this marriage bill? How do you earn enough? Like, that is all about the citizen up until the final requirement. Okay, and Tanisha, stay here with me, and we're going to answer that question. But the final requirement is really where we start talking about things relating to the non-citizen. Okay, the major, now there are other requirements, right? Like your passport, photographs, there's form fees, there's other things, but I'm talking about the three main requirements that if you are able to satisfy these three, you have a higher chance of approval. Okay, because now the relationship is real. Okay, the U.S. citizen earns enough income. Now, the final one is that you, as the non-citizen, that you are admissible. So you need evidence of your entry into the USA, evidence of proof of admissibility, essentially, just to show that there's nothing on your records like misrepresentation, like a criminal charge, or like entry without a visa, anything on your record that could make it impossible for you to get a green card, essentially. That's what number 3 requirement is. You understand? I hope you do. Give me a thumbs up if you're understanding what I'm putting down, because this is tea, guys. If you are applying for your marriage-based green card, this is some hot piping tea that you need to know in order to prepare the best application for yourself. Now, there's no guarantees, right? Because we as immigration lawyers don't make the decisions on your case, but we can tell if a case is going to be a good case or if it's going to be a shitty case, okay? If it's going to be a shitty case, we'll tell you, yeah, you need to bring XYZ document because, this ain't going to work. So this is where lawyers come in as well. We don't make the decisions, but we have enough experience based on dealing with other clients. We know exactly what USCIS is looking for. We're going to make sure you put together enough evidence for that so that you can essentially have a best chance. That's, you put your best foot forward, right? Like when you're going on your online dating profile now, right? You don't put your, I don't know, crappy pictures that you took when you just wake up in the morning, right? You put your nice photos, your bio, you write it out about who you are and all that stuff because you really want to put your best foot forward because you're looking for a date. It's the same thing when you're applying for your green card. You're looking for something, you're essentially begging. The word petition essentially means to beg, like to plead for something. You're essentially pleading for something, so you need to put your best foot forward. You're just not going to send pictures of, like, I'll ask people to send me documents. Like, hey, could you send me a picture of your passport? And they'll just like take some blurry picture and just send to me. I'm like, if you were looking for a date now on Tinder, you're going to swipe left because this is not good. Okay? Go to FedEx, scan these things properly. Like, care about your case, because if the way you present it to USCIS also matters in how the decision is made, right? It's not magic. This is real life. This is what happens. Okay. So Tanisha, to your question, if you were denied before, if you applied for a marriage-based green card and you got denied, you are definitely permitted to remarry and refile so long as the previous marriage was bona fide and your current marriage is bona fide. That's essentially the main test for whether you are allowed to marry somebody else after, previous marriage-based green card. Okay. If your previous marriage was not real, you got denied because it wasn't real, and then you marry somebody else. In fact, getting denied for a fraud marriage could actually be a permanent bar. Just FYI, guys. For those of you that like messaging me on TikTok and everywhere saying, find me a wife, that's marriage fraud. And if you get denied based on marriage fraud, that really decreases your chances of ever becoming a permanent resident again. Okay? So Tanisha, if your marriage was legit and something happened, something like abuse, or you just didn't work out and you divorced, that's totally cool. Okay? Marry again, make sure it's a legit relationship, make sure everything is, you meet all the other requirements, the person earns enough, you are admissible. I'm sure you entered with a visa, right? Or do you have any entry without a visa type of situations? Because if you meet all those things, every other thing that, is associated with this divorce remarriage situation will be solved because you can meet the requirements. Okay? Capiche? Understood? Give me a thumbs up if you like my answer, if you understood it, and if this is helping you at all. Make sure you're sharing this with your friends. Make sure you are joining us live every week, and make sure you're asking your questions in the comments, DMs. I reply to some of you as much as I can, but these lives are the best ways to get with me one-on-one to ask a question, especially with the group lives. Okay, so check that out every Friday. If you're not in the group already, our link is going to be in the comments, captions, everywhere, so you can join the group, join us for the live one-on-ones Q&A. That way you can ask your question beforehand, and then we'll answer it, make sure we answer it live for you. Okay, so I appreciate you all for being here. This is a great topic. In fact, I was just very pumped to talk about it because of the amount of denials I've been seeing here lately. It just kind of worked out because we had this topics plan, and then the denial letters started coming in from all these people. Now, my clients, I'm not going to act like just because my clients get approved, like it's something I'm doing, right, to make them approved. Because maybe people think we have some private number with USCIS or something to do these things. We don't, okay? My clients are seeing their results because they follow my directions. They trust us with our process, and they follow the directions, and we're able to submit evidence that makes sense to the USCIS, okay? If somebody comes at me with a life insurance policy and they just got married yesterday, I'm going to be like, leave my office now. JK, I mean, not to leave my office, but I'm going to be like, can you bring something else that makes sense for a newlywed couple to show that their life is commingled? Life insurance is not that thing. The requirements online says insurance, but what about car insurance or health insurance, things that you actually would be using more frequently than life insurance? Life insurance means somebody has to die up in here for this to even kick in. You're just a beneficiary for that. It's not strong enough. It's not bad, but it's just not strong enough for a newlywed to just bring life insurance, no lease, a few pictures here and there, and expect to get approved. This is just not going to work, okay? If you don't earn enough, just get a joint sponsor. Some people don't like to get joint sponsors because they don't want to tell people about their business. And I use a lot of air quotes because I don't even know what people mean. Some of the things they're saying. I'm like, do you really want to get your green card or not? So you just want to play games? Because if you want to play games, I'm not here to play games, but if you hire my service, I work for my clients, so I will do what you want, but I'm going to tell you the truth and tell you this is just a game that you're playing. This is not going to, you're not going to be able to get away with this. Especially all those like what if calls. What if I do this? Oh, what if we already planned our marriage and I just came in on a B1, B2 visa? I'm like, well, you're going to get dinged with misrep, okay? I'm just going to tell you like it is. And whatever solutions we have for you after that, we can provide it, but it's just going to be what it is, okay? So, more questions. I see one more. We're about to round up the topic. I've talked about 3 important documents that you need for your green card application, especially if you're looking to get approved, okay? Which I know many of you are. If you want to play games, you can, play games. But if you come to me, I'm going to tell you like it is, so we're not going to play. And we're going to get results, okay? All right, Marie says, I was previously married, okay, here in the U.S., and you requested a green card from the marriage, so she filed a green card petition, okay? As the marriage did not work out, let me see, there's more to it, see more. As the marriage did not work out, let's see, there's more to it. Let me take the time to read it. You went your separate ways. You requested to withdraw the green card request. Okay, the withdrawal got approved. You got divorced. Now, you're requesting for a green card again through another marriage. Does that affect your request? Okay, this question is from Maria. All right, Maria, great question. It's kind of similar to Tanisha's question earlier, which is basically married once, filed, married again, filing. All right. So the general answer is that no, your previous case is not going to affect your current case, so long as there's always going to be that but or that little thing. So long as the first marriage was legit. And, you're not just marrying people just for immigration benefits. That's going to be the deciding factor of all of this. All right. So it's not going to affect, but you definitely need to be able to talk about the first marriage because they're not going to let you off the hook. The fact that you apply for that one. Now, granted, it didn't get all the way to the decision. I think Tanisha's case went all the way to a decision and got denied. So that one may be a little bit more, I don't know, challenging, let me say. I don't want to say difficult because I don't think anything is difficult. It's just a challenge. And if you're willing to go on that road, before I start my cases with the clients, I'm telling them, are you ready to work on this? Because we're in this together. You're not going to hire us and then just disappear and then come back after 2 weeks and be like, so how far my case? I'm like, no, this is you and I putting our heads together, looking for documents that make sense, writing our statements, reviewing, making sure that we are putting our best foot forward, like I said. Okay, this is a dating app. You're dating, you're asking the USCIS to marry you. Okay, don't play around. Don't play around. Send clear pictures. Send clear documents. Just go to FedEx and do it if you don't have a printer in your house. Okay? Use a checklist. Put it together because these people, they are human beings too. Just people like you and I, just looking at stuff. Okay? Think about how you are at your job and think about people at USCIS. That's their job. If you make it hard for them, they'll just look at it and be like, If you make it easy, they will look at it, they'll give it attention, they'll process your case quicker, and that's how it goes. Okay, so think about these things while you're applying for your green card. Make sure that you are having all the required documents. If there's something that you don't have, you might get an RFE. Sometimes you don't get an RFE, you just get a denial. So make sure you talk to a lawyer about any supplemental documents that you could use if you don't have one of the required ones. Okay? So to recap, 3 main documents that you need for your green card application. Number 1, proof of relationship, especially green card through family, proof of relationship, proof of real relationship. And number 2, proof of income for the U.S. citizen relative. And number 3, proof of your entry into the USA to show that you are admissible and that you qualify for the green card. Okay? Those are the 3 main documents that you need. I see more questions coming in. I'm going to answer as many as I can right now, and we will wrap up the live for today. But like I said, you guys, I come live every week, at least twice a week, to answer questions, to talk about topics, to talk about, client stories. There are so many things to talk about here at this law firm. We're always helping immigrants get their permanent residency, get their stay, their work permit. So there's just a lot going on here that I want to share with you all. So make sure you follow me. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you can know when I go live. Okay? All right. Maria says her marriage was legit, dated for 4.5 years. Wow. 4.5 years. And yeah, well, since it was legit, and I believe this new one is legit too, there shouldn't be any problems. So you don't have any pictures and stuff anymore since you got divorced. You don't need any evidence of your previous marriage to send right now. They're only going to ask you maybe like in an interview or something. You don't need to send. All you need to send from the previous marriage is divorce. Okay, if you've been married before, you need a proper divorce to be married again. So if you have your proper divorce, that's it. If then when you get to the interview, they will then just ask you casually, so what happened there? Because they already see your records, they know everything. So they're just only asking you just to see if you're going to lie or something. And don't, all right? Sometimes the truth is uncomfortable to talk about, but when it comes to immigration, it's just better to say the truth and see what happens. Because if you add lie on top of lie on top of lie, it's just going to make it worse for you down the line, okay? I mean, people who commit murders have lawyers. So when it comes to immigration, you didn't even kill anybody. You didn't do anything. So nobody is going to beat you. Nothing is happening. Just talk to a lawyer and stop being scared and messing up your case, all right? So if you committed a crime, there's nothing to be ashamed of, or these things happen for different reasons we can't even explain. It's not all like A, B, C, D, like you're a bad person, okay? Not a bad person for immigration. They just want to make sure that people who are coming into the U.S. are people of good moral character, people who can contribute to the society, and not people who would, continue to do things like murder. I just use murder because it's like I think that's probably the worst thing. If we say like theft or anything like that, those can be forgiven, but some types of crimes are just like, whoa, right? So don't kill anybody. Just come to me. Let's do your immigration case. And if you're in a relationship and your U.S. citizen spouse or parent or child is refusing to file for you and using that whole filing thing, to over your head and just using it to control you and stuff, you have options. Still reach out to me for that one, okay? Because no need to waste time. This is 2024, guys. We need to keep it moving, okay? No time for nonsense. No time for nonsense. So don't play around. Get your green card filing in. Not to mention that fees are going up in a few months. That one's just by the wayside. But if you're really serious about living in the USA and being able to work and travel freely and help your family, you need to start filing like yesterday, okay? You need to start filing ASAP, okay? Naira, how do you contact me? My contact information is going to be in the comments or the caption of this live. You can reach out to me by calls, text, WhatsApp, or you can just book a call with me directly on my calendar. I believe that link is there as well. So those are the ways to contact me. Again, I'm Ivy. I'm a USA immigration attorney. I'm in Charlotte, but I help clients all over the USA. I'm excited to work with you all. I'm usually happy when I hear someone calling and they're like, oh, I want to talk to that lady from TikTok. I want to talk to that lady from the internet. So I'm that lady from the internet. You would have to book a call to talk with me because, imagine a lot of people are calling to talk to that lady from the internet. So we definitely do our calls by consultations, by appointments, right? But feel free to reach out by text or anything for a free inquiry. We do free inquiries where you can find out if you're a great fit for our firm and our services, and then we'll be able to just give you any resources that we have. We have several free resources. We have our green card checklist. We have our VAWA self-petition guidelines in case you need to know if you qualify for that. That's something that we do a lot of here because it's really just tied to marriage-based green card, because if you have a relative that's supposed to file for you, be the petitioner, and they're not doing it, right, it immediately turns into a self-petition because now you probably have emotional abuse, financial abuse, and all sorts of things. In fact, just side notes, the lady I was meeting with today didn't even realize that she could even be a candidate for a self-petition. Her marriage is legit and everything, because this is not even about a legit marriage. It's more about whether your petitioner is able mentally and physically to actually support your application, and whether whatever conditions they have is causing you emotional stress, trauma, and financial abuse, basically overspending. Because what is financial abuse, right? In marriage, is usually overspending. You have joint accounts, you put money inside, they use it without telling you, and then they're, or you get paid and they're like, those type of things. So it's not always about somebody's beating you and all of that stuff. I work with clients who have their spouse is an alcoholic. So because of the being an alcoholic, the spouse is unable to function and actually help with the application. Now there's a lot of yelling and screaming in the house. My client developed anxiety. Like, it was just all that type of stuff. So you just need to talk to a lawyer to know if your situation will fit into the requirements for a VAWA self-petition, just so long as you have a legit relationship. All right. So it was wonderful talking with you guys on here today. Again, for the last time, I'm Ivy, your go-to specialist for everything family-based immigration. I'm licensed, so I'm not a notario. So for some of you calling to ask questions or wanting form services, just go to Boundless for that. I'm not Boundless. I'm a licensed attorney. I help you from beginning to the end. We do fully done for you process. So if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for support, if you're looking for a community, if you're looking for someone who is fun, because I'm fun, okay? Someone who is relatable, someone who you can open up to and tell things, and who can understand where you're coming from, I'm that someone, all right? So again, thanks for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. For those of you in the group who are going to be in the live consult, I'll see you then. For the rest of you, hasta luego. I'll see you next week. All right. Bye-bye. End stream. And on YouTube.